What's up, Can Phenomaniacs? I got myself a little strong pour here. I know it seems invisible, but trust me, there's a little bit of a liquid in there, and that is Coke Zero, baby. Okay, with a little mix of some rum. But more importantly, what we're going to be doing here today is going through two 3-round mock drafts. The first mock draft is going to be 100% on the public board, and the second mock draft is going to be 100% on the PFF board. A combined 2-1 MockJay's mock draft 3.0. What we really are doing in this is obviously having some fun, seeing who potentially the Cowboys might get at 24 and beyond. However, really want to just see what the differences are between that public board and that PFF board, because I like to do these types of tests. And although one run through isn't going to tell the whole tale, it's going to give us some good insight as to what the differences are, how the public feels the NFL draft will go in 2024, and how PFF believes the NFL draft will in 2024. That's this year, by the way. We are not going to change any of the other settings. We're just going to hop into this 3 rounds each. If there is an opportunity to trade, we'd make it, but we're only going to do 3 rounds anyway, so that doesn't really matter. Probably really just stick to our, and I'm going to drop it down since we got a little bit more time. I'm going to just stick to what our picks are. No trades. There's no point unless we're picking up, I guess, a second or a third. So I will look at them if something pops up. But more importantly, we want to see what the difference is here between the public and the PFF board. Let's get into it. Mock draft 1 is going to be here for the public board. So let's see how things shake, rattle, and roll out. Here we go. And we're ending up with some interesting fellas right off the top here. Excuse me, Amari Mims is where it becomes realistic. But the 3 players who we don't really ever see at 24 are Jerzon Newton, defensive interior from Illinois, Cooper DeJean, cornerback from Iowa, and Liatu Latu, edge from UCLA. Let's have a look at Jerzon Newton. He's got a decent comparables. Every one of his comparables is over that 75% line right here. You can see I'm stroking it. He's a bit of a better pass rusher than a run defender. And he had a better 2022 than he did 2023. Let's see what really changed. It looked like he played a little bit more of over the tackle in 2022. And in 2023, he was playing almost an even split between over the tackle and that D gap. Let's have a first look at Newton. Newton has some physical limitations due to his size, 6'2", 295, and a lack of natural flexibility. But his hand usage, pass rush tools, and block shedding ability allow him to be very productive in any alignment, a 3 to 5 technique, as a 3 to 5 technique player. His analysis, the pros, possesses quick handwork. His feet never stop firing. Experienced and effective stunt loop rusher, and a motor that never stops, which I like. An explosive first step. Cons, you can tell he is light, lacks overall flexibility for getting low on bending or bending on a rush. High run defense grade comes from gap shooting and disengaging blocks, then truly holding the line. And top speed is limited in pursuit. So having a defensive interior that can get in there and help disrupt the quarterback ain't a bad thing. He's got 8 sacks and he had 4 in 2022. So maybe moving him to that B gap position allowed him to get in past that offensive line and make his way to the quarterback. Although he did suffer a drop of hits from 19 to 7, and also in hurries from 36 to 28. But you know what we like to do here? We like to go over and have a look-ski. 6'2", 304, so a little bit heavier by the NFL draft buzz. His metrics are not very, very great. He's got under a 33-inch arm span. Definitely concerning there. He's about, 51 percentile for his 40. So he ain't slow, but he ain't fast. Overall, he's an 89.5 grade. Offensive rating, he played against teams average of 82%. That's pretty damn good. So when he got a 59% on his tackling, but his pass rush is 90% and his run defense is 87%. They're comparing him here to Jalen Carter, Kobe Turner, and Carl Brooks. But let's see what the NFL Draft Buzz has to say. His strengths: Newton's alignment versatility is a key strength, effectively shifting him across multiple spots on the DL. Okay. His explosive get off is a major disruptor. He utilizes heavy, impactful hands for crushing blows. He demonstrates the flexibility to play on the edge, his exceptional leverage, using his size and technique to gain the upper hand in trenches. Armed with an array of counter moves, he's not just a power player, but a strategic rusher with a diverse skill set. And you're going to need that in the NFL. For a near 300-pound athlete, his agility and quickness stand out, and he displays strong point of attack capabilities against the run, with natural leverage and ability control engagements. Newton's size profile is less than ideal for a defensive tackle. He lacks the desired arm strength. These are weaknesses. Struggles with handling double team blocks, can be prone to getting manhandled in the run game. And his get off and acceleration off the snap is only average. But up here, they say his explosive get off is a major disruptor. So make up your mind. Guess it depends which scout you're listening to. We'll also look here at Cooper Jean, cornerback. Probably not the smartest pick to take with a #1 overall pick, but with his ranking and his potential ability, might be something that the Cowboys would look at, or at least dip their toe in the water. Coverage grade 76.8, run defensive grade 78.6. He's a little lower though on that man coverage grade, so that could be a concern. But perhaps it's something he can work on. We're looking at his 2022 to 2023 season. He had a better 2022 season, a lot more snaps, and a lot more coverage snaps too. But he did play pretty much almost all corner in 2023, whereas in 2022 he was in the slot and in the box a lot more than he was in 2023. A passer rating, he's just gotten better and better and better. From 2021, it was 93.8, 2022 was 49.7, and 2023 was 37.8. So the dude has improved, and that's what you like to see. 6'1", 207. The talk of DeJean playing outside cornerback or safety or slot cornerback at the next level is not due to lack of a home position. It's because he could truly be an impact player anywhere. His footwork, ball skills, and explosive athleticism make him an impactful outside cornerback, one with all-pro potential. We like to hear that. He's got great size for a cornerback, stout in run defense. Quick controlled footwork in his back pedal allows him to veer and break exactly how he needs to. Good instincts and football IQ, impressive ability to flip his hips, and the hips do not lie. He has natural athletic ability to play press and ample special teams experience as a gunner and returner. Only 199 snaps in press, less than 25% over the past 2 years, and his change of direction and acceleration when he's fully flipping his hips can be slow because of his size. Like we say, those hips do not lie. But let's go over and have a look-ski at Cooper DeJean, see what NFL Draft Buzz has to say. Now, the problem here with DeJean is he looks like a rich kid who driving around in like a Maserati or something. And that I do not like. 6 foot, 203. So still got that size here. The 5th ranked DB. Big boy, big hands. He's not very fast either. He's actually below the 50%. He's 48th percentile here. Overall, 87.7%. He played against an average of 80%, the offensive rating of the teams that he played against. So that's nice to see. Quarterback rating when targeting him is 45.2. Tackling is 87%. Run defense, 88%. Coverage, 85%. Zone, 81%. Man press, 82%. So he's pretty decent all through. And they have him projected to go late in the first round. So maybe this is not as wild as I think. Comparable players: Christian Gonzalez, Devin Witherspoon, and Trent McDuffie. Okay, not bad company. Scouting report from NFL Draft Buzz. His strengths: he's got elite athletic skills. He was number 14 on Bruce Feldman's freak list. Ow! Possesses rare mass and frame density for a cornerback. Showcases great initial burst. Fleet-footed mover with exceptional corrective twitch. Boasts impressive long track recovery and gap closing speed. Can snap into phase and realign himself to trail wide receivers. Has the short area freedom to adjust his tempo. Extremely natural zone defender, and with disciplined technique, size, and short area mobility, he can play the slot or boundary. So I do like his versatility. And I don't think that the Cowboys are fully settled in their quarterback or safety position. Weaknesses, he sometimes loses his balance when sinking to match whip and out routes. Muscle bound frame prevents him from fully sinking. Okay, you mentioned sinking twice. Doesn't quite have an elite fluidity and hip movement, and the hips don't lie. At times, he can better channel recovery speed out of transitions to close gaps. Occasionally, wasted motion and pressed man can tug him too far off the line and open space. While in position, versatility may be viewed as an asset. It may lead him to be viewed more as a safety rather than a pure corner. And DeJean fractured the fibula in his left leg while practicing in November. And while he's been fully cleared 3 months after surgery, he won't run at the combine. Well, interesting, but let's have one more look here at another guy who's out of the ability technically when we're looking at the PFF ranks. It's Leutulatu. Now, Leutulatu is an edge rusher, but he's got a great pass rush grade. Yeah. He's got a great pass rush grade and run defensive grade. And his true pass rush grade is the highest it can be, as well as his pass rush win rate. So he's got the ability to move in and scare that quarterback, and I like that. He had 27 sacks over his 2 years here at UCLA, 15 in 2023, 11 hits, and 36 hurries. I mean, the guy gets to the quarterback and makes him move. Mostly an outside tackle, but he did play a little bit over the tackle and in the B gap position. But let's get a first look. 6'5", 265. Overall, though somewhat limited athletically, his home is in the offensive backfield due to his hand usage and pass rush moves that will continue to win at the NFL level. All right, PFF, give us your analysis. Hands are precise, fast, and most importantly, planned. Quickness and agility are a nightmare for interior offensive linemen. Vast repertoire of pass rush moves. Eyes are always in the backfield for the ball. Above average bend corner ability. Okay, cons. Length is adequate, but not an advantage. First step is adequate, but he won't be blowing by NFL tackles. His higher PFF run blocking grade is due to shooting gaps more than truly holding the line of scrimmage. Don't know if that's a super bad thing, but what I do care about is how he's ranked amongst his peers, his comparables. You know what we got to do? We got to go and have a look-see at this guy. The number one ranked defensive lineman, 6'5", 259. And now his measurables, nothing really jumps out at you except for his 40. In the 89th percentile with a 4.64. And his 10 yards pretty good, a 1.62. You'd like to see that just down in the 1.5s if you could, but still 71 percentile. Broad jump, he's not extremely powerful. Only 55 percentile. I'm not going to say that to his face. 89.6 rating. Offensive rating was 76%. That's very good. Not the best tackler at 58%, but he's a great pass rusher and a very good run defensive rusher at 98% and 83% respectively. First round mid, they're thinking that he would go. His comparables are Kayvon Thibodeau, George Karlaftis, and Jalen Phillips. Let's see what we got here for his strengths from NFLDraftBuzz.com. Boasts a robust frame with the requisite length and athleticism needed for an edge role. Exhibits impressive initial burst off the line. Utilizes his quickness to gain the edge. Demonstrates lateral agility and an elusive nature. Utilizes a diverse set of rush moves with advanced hand techniques. Shows commendable body control at the rush apex. Creates mismatches inside against guards on passing downs with his quickness and relentless pursuit of the quarterback. And I like that. Inside against the guards, that's one area I'd like to see him maybe playing is inside instead of on the edge, since we got D-Law and Micah Parsons holding those areas down. But still, maybe he could rotate in there and rotate across the whole line. That seems like something I'd like to see. Though more suited to zone, he can drop into coverage. Okay, just playing good instincts. However, maybe limited in man coverage due to the change of direction constraints. That's not a strength. Okay, you kick that down to weaknesses. Instinct players with a persistent motor frequently forcing turnovers and disrupting offensive momentum. I like that. All right, on to his weaknesses. Displays just adequate athleticism relative to NFL standards for edge rushers. Arm length is average. potentially hindering his ability to keep blockers at bay. Run defense occasionally suffers from lapses in awareness, struggles to disengage from blockers in the run game. Medical history possesses a significant risk, introducing a variable that could impact his draft stock and durability concerns. We're going to look at Leo Latu's injury history. So Latu sustained a Knicks injury during the fall of 2020 while with the Huskies and was never cleared to play by team doctors. It forced a medical retirement, and he missed the 2020 and 2021 season before revitalizing his career in UCLA. Oh, wow. Injuries can happen to anyone, no matter where they play, but that's a big red flag for me. Because of that, so just to satisfy the need, we're going to go with Newton. I do like Latu. That injury history is too much of a concern for me. We get defensive interior out of the way. Welcome to the team, Newton. Let's go. And you guys let me know in the comments. Was I too concerned about Latu? Did I have too much of a cold feet? Whatever the term is. All right, here we are with our number 56 pick overall. Some wide receivers that we haven't seen before. Actually, Keon Coleman kind of shows up there for us. But we're going to look at Roman Reigns Wilson. He's got very good comparables, a nice high receiving grade of 84.5, and a low drop rate of 2%. We like that. Only dropped one ball. 16.4 average and 12 touchdowns in 2023. Roman Wilson, 6 foot, 192. They don't even have any analysis for this guy. What are you doing, PFF? Get your lives in order. Roman Wilson looks like he got a little bit of an Oompa Loompa look to him here. But hey, no judgment, my dude. I look like I'm a bit of a tomato, so that's just how it is, right? The 10th ranked wide receiver, 5'11", 185. It's not small, he ain't big though. In fact, he's rather dainty for the position. 23rd percentile in height and 14th in weight. Weight you can put on a little bit, and that would bring him right up. But look at this. His 86 percentile at 4.39. His shuttle, 4.07 at 86 percentile. And his 10-yard, 1.52, 80 percentile. So I really like that. His three-cone drill is also pretty damn good at 64%, but doesn't stand out like his 40 shuttle and his 10-yard. Short arms, and they don't even have his vertical. 86.4% overall rating, 76% on his defensive rating. So that's good. He played against some good guys. And a 139.5 in QB quarterbacks are targeting him. That's really good. That bodes very well for this young man out of Michigan. I'm trying to say that correctly. Typically, I say Michigan. I love my boy Big Chris, and I don't want to disrespect him or disappoint him. 85% hands, 83% short, 90% intermediate, and 90% deep threat. Okay, so he just gets better as the further down the field you go. Not a very good blocker. What are we drafting a wide receiver to block? Should be the first thing we look at. Marvin Mims Jr., Charlie Jones, and Sky Moore are his best comparables. Let's look at his strength here. He's elite athletic skills. He made number 73 on Bruce Feldman's freak list. Displays elite explosiveness and long speed, exceptional route runner, strong hands with an expansive catch radius, impressive zone awareness, displays versatility with potential in special teams. Okay. Proven ability to make significant plays and strong mental toughness and resilience. Limited physical frame may restrict him to slot receiver roles. That's okay. That might be who we're looking for with CD and Cooks on the outside. Below average yards after catch ability, needs to refine footwork and route selling to enhance deception, concerns over durability with a history of injuries potentially impacting long-term availability, and below average blocker. That's okay. Well, you know what we got to do? We got to go look at Roman Wilson's injury history. Well, from what I could see, it looks like he just has had some head injuries, but he is from Hawaii. And so if you watch any sort of MMA, you know that those Hawaiians can take a little bit of a packed punch, because really Roman Wilson's the only guy who's kind of falling out of that range. We don't need a tight end, and I don't want to go here on Jonah Ellis. I just don't think that he's the kind of dude that we need. Especially since we already drafted a defensive interior. We're going to go ahead with Roman Wilson, wide receiver from Michigan. Let's bring him and welcome him onto the team. All right, and as I pour myself a drink here for our third and final pick, not a lot of players on the board who are so far out. Like in our first round, we had a lot of guys who were like eighth and ninth ranked. Here are our highest ranked is 83. And that's not too far off from our 83rd pick. We already took a wide receiver, but I'm just going to have a quick look at Jamari Thrash. I don't like that drop rate, man. He drops a lot of balls. 6'1", 185. Thrash was a good all-around athlete who was a knack for setting defenders up to create subtle separation near the sideline. His NFL combine scores will be important for him to stand out in a stacked receiver class. For the S&Gs, let's just go have a look at him. Thrash, I like him how he's sitting forward in the camera. He's got his pads on. He's saying, hey, take a swing if you trust yourself, but I trust myself too, and I'm waiting for it. 6', 188, so he's got that big body, or at least that big size. He's actually quite light. But again, you put on that weight. It's not hard to put on 10 pounds, especially on a 6-foot frame. But all of his other measurables ain't anything too exceptional. Has a pretty good quarterback rating, but his hands, man, he drops the ball too much, and that's just something you cannot deal with in the NFL. Bucky Irving, 84. I took Trey Benson before, so we're more than likely going to go ahead and take Bucky Irving, 91 rush grade, or almost 92 rush grade, 93.4 gap grade, elusive rating of 149.2, and his zone grade, 73.4. So he's a little bit worse on that zone grade. But yards after contact, this is really good to see. Almost 4 yards after contact. So after you hit him, he's going to fall forward another 4 yards. And he can catch the football. 55 receptions on 61 targets. That's super promising with 11 touchdowns. He had 2 back-to-back really good years. And his 2021 wasn't that bad either. Let's have a quick look at this guy. 5'10", 195. Irvin might not have the look of a running back that teams will automatically covet on draft weekend. But his tape shows an incredible efficient player in both the run and pass game. And I like that. Doesn't have the best long speed, but does have a great burst to hit holes quickly. Just say he has a great burst speed to hit holes quickly. That's not a pro if you start off with this long speed. Move that down to cons. Let's even these pros and cons out. Come on, PFF. Fast, controlled, balanced footwork to make defenders myth in the phone booth. Natural, reliable hands as a receiver. Nice center of gravity to bounce off tackles. Despite his size, he looks for yards between the tackles. Very north-south runner. Not a reliable pass blocker. And does not have getaway speed. To each their own. And what we got to do. We got to go over here and look at our boy Bucky Irvin, see where it is. From Oregon or Oregon. His measurables ain't nothing special. I mean, there's really nothing that stands out here except for perhaps just in this case where nothing is special, his 10-yard is pretty damn good. 79th percentile, 1.54. So he can get to that 10-yard very quickly. It's just after that, he's not really going to break away from anyone. Defensive rating was 78%. So he played against some good teams. 84.2 is his rating. He's the 5th ranked on the NFL Draft Buzz. 91% rushing, 85% break tackle, 73% receiving, but he ain't going to block too much. Jarian Ely, Tyjae Spears, and Kyron Williams are his comparisons. Real quick on his scouting report here, because we're going to take this guy. Irving's playmaking ability is marked by his hyper efficiency, exhibits elite speed for his position, accelerates quickly and maintains speed given his size, demonstrates competitiveness and determination, keen vision in identifying optimal run lanes, decisive in his play, well-suited for outside zone, and effective in the receiving game. These are good things. Concerns over his light frame is number one weakness. All too often bails out of his lanes, needs to stay more disciplined, struggles to decelerate after gaining speed. Receiving skills, while strong, are primarily limited to short passes. Poor pass blocker, whether this is due to inexperience or something more innate, is undetermined. So maybe he can fix that. And also, all too often bails out of his lanes. You know who did that the best? It was Barry Sanders, okay? I'm not trying to make a comparison here, but I'm just saying, I ain't too worried about that. And, we're just going to take wrap this draft up. So we got a little bit of look at what the public board was, and it seemed after the first round, it really kind of started to even out with PFF. A quick look here. It's only a 3-round mock draft. PFF suggests that we should have taken Cooper DeJean instead of Newton with our first round pick. And I'm not mad at that because, well, like I mentioned, we could use a safety to come in there and kind of shake things up and push other players. If they ain't going to take that challenge, he can take over a position and maybe improve that secondary. And no one should be mad at that. But here we go. Newton, A+, Roman Wilson from Michigan, wide receiver, A+, and Bucky Irving, halfback from Oregon, A-. And we got an A grade. That's a top 10% of Dallas Cowboy drafts. Heyo. Thank you for watching to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you check out part 2 when it's up in one of these 2 boxes here. And if it's not up, another one of these MockJay's mock drafts will be available for you. Otherwise, you can see all of our drafts on our YouTube channel. Just go ahead and visit the channel and you can go through our videos, see our mock drafts. All right, peace.